Hey lovelies, it's Kate. Welcome back to another Sims 4 speed build. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're ready for this build because I decided to build a pretty weird build. It's modern, it has lots of round shapes, and I started to build this in Willow Creek. This is a 50 by 50 lot, and I was soon running out of space. I mean, of course, I just had to move this to a 64 by 64 lot. I chose the one in the Astor Valley, so at some point, as you will notice in this video, I'm going to move this build to a bigger lot. My idea was to have this really oddly shaped build in the center, and then I wanted to do lots of landscaping around it. You already saw the finished result in the very beginning, and I used the terrain tools a lot for this. And as you can see here, I actually started out by manipulating the terrain because I wanted to have a walkout basement, and I decided to create a really deep hole for this. And the problem is, whenever you are using the terrain tools heavily, you need the space for this, because when you want to smooth out the slopes, when you want everything to be beautiful, you just need the space. And I was running out of space, so this did not affect the dimensions of the build. I just needed some extra space for landscaping. This build isn't huge by any means. It's not overly huge, gigantic. I think it's very manageable if you want to play in this. I just needed the space for landscaping. I've talked about this before in my quite old terrain tools tutorial, and you can check it out if you want to, but I'm going to quickly cover this. If you want to do something like this, if you want to have a basement like this, you can actually just build a room and then you build a floor piece on top and you expand it so it kind of overhangs, and then you can click on your room and you can actually move the arrow down to bring it down, and it kind of moves into the terrain and creates a hole, and then you can use the terrain tools to just make the terrain at the bottom flat to create this. It's very easy. As I've said, I've covered this in my terrain tools tutorial, and this way you can just create this type of look. So you have a room at the bottom, you can always expand the room at the bottom, you can make it as big as you want, and then you have the rest of your build on top. I have done the same for the cabin that I've created last year at some point, the snowy one, and yeah, this is how you can do it. It's very easy, and I think it just looks amazing. It's different for once, and I really wanted to put a heavy focus on the area at the bottom. I wanted to create this pattern. I've used lots of debug objects for this, and I actually added some planting pots. I found a reference on Pinterest which inspired me, and I just wanted to kind of use the space for something that is useful, so I decided to turn it into an area for gardening, because otherwise it just looks spectacular and that's it. I mean, that's fun as well. I like this. Sometimes it's just about the looks for me, but I really wanted this to make a bit of sense, so I added the planting pots at the bottom. I used the tool mod for many parts of this build. If you have no idea about this, the tool mod is by Twisted Maxi. It's a wonderful mod which can be used to rotate objects. You can move objects offload, for example, all kinds of different things. And the amazing thing is, it does not affect the gallery upload. So even though I'm using the mod here, you won't need the mod to download this build from the gallery and use it. This is why I'm using it, because all my builds are CC free and unmodded, so you can simply grab this from the gallery. Everything will still be in place, so you don't need the mod, but of course I recommend the mod if you really want to take build mode in The Sims 4 to the next level. I just recommend checking out the mod because it's honestly so much fun and really addicting. Once you start using the mod, you just can't go back. I feel like even for stuff that I don't need the mod for, I use it all the time just to move stuff, to duplicate stuff, because it's just super convenient. So at first you might use it to rotate something, to rotate some windows, to create a window facade like this, different things. But then at some point you notice that you can just use it to copy stuff, it just makes life easier. It's just amazing. So let's talk about the pool that I'm building here. This pool is super eye-catching, so when you take a look at this build, at the finished build, I feel like the pool is super eye-catching because of its shape. So this was kind of complicated. I created the room at the bottom, and then I had a floor piece on top, as I've explained and as you saw, but then I turned this into a round floor piece. As always, I've used the round floor piece with a fence attached to it. I've removed the fence, I then made it small on both sides, and then when you combine 4 of them, you have a perfect circle. It's not wonky, you won't have a weird shape, you have a perfect circle, which is also a great band, by the way. So I created my circle, and then I had to connect my circle with the floor behind it, and this is not working just like that. Here at this point, you can see that I just have a floor piece behind it, and your Sims won't be able to step on this. So here's how you fix it. You simply raise the platform on your round floor piece, and then you will be able to attach stairs, and your Sim will be able to walk on this. At first I was confused, but then I remembered because this has happened to me in the past. So you just have to add some stairs, and then I wanted to work on a pool, and for this I used some type of table. Usually I use the pristine pedestal, but I wanted to try something new, so this is just a different object that I've stumbled upon in build mode. I don't even know to which pack it belongs, maybe get to work, I don't know. And then I just created the shape that you can see in the background, and you can just use it to hide the shape of the pool. You basically just create your round shape, and then you build your pool, and all the edges are hidden, so it looks round, but it's technically not really round. But this is how it appears to be round. And I really had to make lots of tiny changes, even off camera, kind of, while I was not recording, just moving stuff around to make it perfect. So this was all about the details. And here at the bottom right now, I'm working on a round wall. For this, I used a base game wood plank, and I rotated it using tool to have this look, and then I just placed a door at the bottom so it looks like just a regular entry. And here I'm working on the pool again, and I wanted to incorporate more round shapes, and then I noticed that this isn't working the way I wanted it to work, so I thought, okay, I'm not going to add this round shape, and I just expanded the floor piece at the top a bit. And this weirdly shaped rock, this gigantic round rock, is from Journey to Batu, and it's my go-to at this point whenever I want to create a gigantic round shape. I like to use rocks as a guideline, and it just has a really lovely shape if you want to have a round shape like this. And I laid out my rock to have a guideline, and then I used more of these wooden planks. I wanted to create a wall, and there are different ways to do it, but I just placed all my wooden planks like this because I didn't need to for this. When I place it like this, I can just hold down Alt on my keyboard, and then I just rotate the whole thing by 90 degrees, and they are just standing upright, and I have a wall, as you just saw, which is much easier. I then had to find the correct position for some wood planks because I hadn't aligned them perfectly, and then I also had to rotate them again to make it perfect. But this is much easier. If you want to do something like this using tool, you can just align all your wood planks on the floor, and then you just use tool to rotate them so they stand upright. And then I added more windows, and this is kind of the main part of the building from the outside. The actual main part is underground. I built multiple bedrooms and all that, but this area where you just cook and hang out is kind of in the outdoor. I've built a similar build in the past, so this is kind of a weird build. Part of the build is on the outside because this here is not a proper room. And then when you walk down the stairs, you can access the real rooms where you have some bedrooms. I also added 2 real rooms, some fully closed rooms at the top to have 1 bathroom and 1 bedroom. But the kitchen, the living room, all these things will be on the outside. Technically, weather, or at least rain, should not affect your Sims over there because there is a roof on top. But it's kind of like an outdoor build. It's a bit out of the ordinary and weird, but sometimes you just have to create a weird build. I'm sorry, I just had to. So I used lots of wood planks, lots of windows, lots of tool to create this shape. You can already see the main shape of the build here. And then I had to add a ceiling. For this, I just used lots of roof pieces, and technically you can just click on the arrow to move a flop piece. I couldn't do this here really because whenever I did that, I moved all my white objects, these little tables that I've also used for the pool. So I had created my outline and I had to place each or almost each flop piece individually, and then I removed all the flop pieces or the excess flop pieces at the edge to really have this beautiful round shape. And then I had some holes on the inside, as you will see, but it doesn't have to be perfect at this point. You just want to lay out the general shape, and then you can always make it really beautiful and polished. You can just add more objects to really hide all these imperfections. And then I added some round rooms on each side, like one room on each side. For this I also used a round flop piece, and I wanted to have a foundation at the bottom, so it looks like this. And then as you will see, I'm just going to add lots of windows and wood planks just to make it look beautiful. You can already see how I'm placing all these objects here. I didn't record rotating them because I already rotated all these other windows, and it's the same process essentially. I've also made a tutorial for this, by the way. My first tool tutorial where I'm covering round rooms. This is a tutorial which I would recommend if you would learn how to do this using Tool. And I applied a roof color which looks like grass. So I wanted this to look really overgrown, and also the Blooming Room kit came out recently and I wanted to incorporate lots of different plants also on the inside. So it's kind of a weird mix of different styles. It's modern but also really, I don't know, just different styles. I don't even know what this is, to be honest. I then changed the direction of my windows a bit on this side just to connect everything with my round fake rooms. And here I'm using the Spotty Stony Goodness slab to connect everything. And here at this point, the shape is really coming together. I really love to work on builds like this because you never know what's going to happen. Even when you have a solid plan or even a reference, sometimes you just have to figure something out, just like connecting these round fake rooms to the rest of the build. And I added lots of vines on top. These are from Outdoor Living. They can be found in the bag, and I've added lots of them. And then I added some vines on my angled walls, and these are from Discover University. They can be rotated using Tool, which was perfect for this because this wall isn't straight, and I really wanted this to look like proper vines growing on a wall. And not every single object can be rotated using Tool. It's not always working, so you sometimes have to figure out if something can be rotated, especially plants, like regular plants and flowers usually cannot be rotated. So I was really happy to find out that I can actually rotate these Discover University vines. There are different vines in this game also from Get Together. You don't even have to dive into debug for this. You can just look for them in build by. But I feel like these ones from Discover University are the best ones in the game. I love the texture. They look so realistic, almost like CC. I really like them. The other one look, I don't know, more like a comic style kind of vine, if that makes sense. So I really prefer to use these ones. And then I created a round room on top. I simply duplicated the round room that I had already created, and then I used an object from the Paranormal Stuff pack and I rotated it. You can see that the roof that I've created using this object, it's just some random decorative object that I've rotated a bit, and I have this roof, and then I simply adjusted the position of each individual window and wood plank to make it look like this. I'd planned something like this for the longest time, but never knew how to make it happen. And then when I looked at this reference, I was just trying to figure something out, and I just had so much fun working on this. This is what I love the most, when I really have to figure something out, when I try different things, and I then later on adjusted the position a little bit to make it perfect. So it's really a perfect circle also in the back, and it was just so much fun. I then worked on landscaping. I added my beloved flat base game bush and just some random base game plants just to make it look beautiful. And I really had to work a long time on all the landscaping and decoration and the terrain paint. You can here see how I'm fixing the terrain paint a bit. The pattern on the ground is also from debug, just some base game objects, and I placed lots of them. So many. I really wanted this to look perfect, and I had to place so many, and you want this to look a bit random and natural, so you always have to alternate which ones you combine, and also their direction, so you have to rotate them a bit. And then when you raise the terrain a bit, some of them might hover, which isn't a good thing. Then you have to place them again. This was quite tedious. I then placed lots of just plants and trees and also some planting pots. As I've mentioned earlier, I really wanted this to be functional. And here's the thing. When I placed this in Desert Valley, I rotated it so the good Desert Valley light would be shining right onto the pool and just this build from this direction, and it was perfect for building. But of course at some point I realized that the back of the lot is kind of in the front, so I'm going to rotate this so when you grab this from the gallery it will be facing into the correct direction. I just noticed this. The whole building process was all over the place because of how I started to build this in Willow Creek, and then I moved this to Desert Valley, and I was just confusing myself. This was a whole process. Sometimes you just start to build something, it's finished and you're happy, but this, it just took me a while. Here I'm already furnishing. The furniture is really white, really modern, really minimalistic and simple, and I built this in the round shape that we had created. So this is indeed the main part of the build, even though it's technically on the outside. So this is really about outdoor living, glamping, but you kind of have a bedroom. It's a really weird concept, but I mean, it is what it is. It's just something weird, out of the ordinary. Really strange build. I mean, I said this earlier, to be fair. Like, at the very beginning I said it's strange, and it really is. It's a odd build, and I added lots of vines on the inside and plants. I used the Blooming Rooms kit. I really wanted this to look lush and green, and it's really weird, as I said, but I hope you like it. I really can't wait to hear if you like it or if it's too weird. I then switched to night so I could really figure out where to place all my lamps, and here you can see how a rock is kind of bugging into the room, and at first I wanted to change its placement, but then I realized that it's just such a lucky coincidence. It looks beautiful, so I really wanted to incorporate this on the inside, kind of like organic architecture where you really embrace these things. And then I built a fireplace and I placed it so it's like connected to my rock, and then I wanted to have lots of like cushions on the ground to sit on, some books, so this is really like hanging out. I really wanted it to have this boho vibe, so you can really hang out on the outside, because at some point I realized, okay, this has to have some type of glamping vibe, even though it's not really glamping, but I just wanted this to have this kind of style. The lamp is from the new kit, also some of the new plants, and I just combined stuff from different packs and kits, and it just looks so beautiful. I love this vibe. I don't really like the light, like this outdoor type of light, but I mean, it is what it is in this game, I guess. This is one of the bathrooms. This is a proper, fully closed room, of course. It's also located at the top inside the round shape. I wanted this to be a fully closed, proper room because it's a bathroom after all. Otherwise, it's not going to work out and your Sims would freak out constantly. And I tried to combine different colors and textures, materials, so it's a bit special and unique, just like the rest of the build. I wanted this to look natural. I used lots of wooden tones, lots of rocks, just different colors, and I raised the platform in the corner of the room, a triangular platform, to have a place for the bathtub. It's quite spacious. I only realized this while I was furnishing this, but I thought, I mean, why not? It's such a gigantic, luxurious build, like the whole lot, and I mean, why not have a really beautiful, huge bathroom? I mean, it doesn't hurt anyone. Why not? And it's different from my usual style, but I embraced it. I thought it makes sense. And even though it's different, it looks fun. This here is one of the bedrooms. This bedroom is also located at the top inside the round shape. On the left side of the round shape, we have the bathroom that you just saw, and on the right side, we have this bedroom. I rotated a painting from the Dream Home Decorator pack, and then I placed some raw decorations from Eco Lifestyle in front of it to make it look really unique and special. I've also used some Eco Lifestyle wall decorations in front of the windows, these wooden leaves, and I wanted this to look really warm and cozy, kind of modern. It has a really weird style, but this is what I was going for here. I really wanted to combine different vibes and styles. The bed is from Snowy Escape, and I just combined all kinds of different things. And I really like how unique this room looks, kind of. And this is another bedroom. So now I'm furnishing all the bedrooms. I didn't record all of them, but there are, I think, 5 bedrooms in total, 3 bathrooms. So there is a lot of space in this build, even though it has a really weird shape and it's kind of out of the ordinary and unique, but there is still enough space for all your Sims to move in, to have a great time, and to just live their best life in a really out of the ordinary dimension, I'd say. And yeah, this is almost it, and I already want to say thank you so much for watching this. As always, if you have any ideas, any requests, just leave a comment down below. I've added lots of screenshots so you can really see what I built here. You can grab this from the gallery. My ID is KateEmerald, and also you can now join as a member on this channel if you want to support me. You can find the button right next to the subscribe button. Thank you to anyone who supports me, and also a big thank you to all my Patreons. And now it's time to thank my wonderful Emerald Patreons. A big thank you to Asia, Dawn Bryce, Jennifer Lewis, Callan Renee, Matthew Stahl, Miku, DJ, Shannon McClam, Talena Lynn, Tamika Mitchell, Victoria Smithies, and 2 Cats Tailoring. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you to all my other Patreons. Thank you to anyone who watches my videos and supports me. I love you all so much. Stay safe out there. I hope you're all doing well. I love you so much, and I hope I see you in the next video. Bye bye.